What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only. It is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, happy Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. What's happening, man?
Oh, I've been playing a whole lot of Hot Wheels, and I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I do, but I cannot deny it. And actually, a little bit of an update since yesterday. I played a little bit more Bad Company 2. It's a Battlefield from 360, and it still works. There was actually a lot of people online. I did finally get a game going.
There you go. There you go. Dude, you know what I was playing this morning? You ready for this? Apex Legends Mobile. That's right. I jumped in, got the tutorial out of the way, jumped in my first game, got a few kills. I got about 5 kills, I think, to get started.
Does it do the bot match thing?
Champion. Oh, I don't know. Dude, so I looked at the stats already. It said 5+ million downloads. That's been since midnight. That was last night it launched. So I was just like, I jumped on it this morning. I was talking to Ryan and he's like, yeah, I've been playing already. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll jump in. First match, got a dub. I'm like, I'll take that. That's not a bad start. I should just call it quits right now because right now my ratio is like 1-1. Perfect. That's it. Game
you know,
over.
that's how Epic Games got everybody to like Gears of War, eh? Way back in the day, if you were playing your first 10 matches, I believe it was, you had a massive advantage over everybody else. But the idea was you play your first 10 games and you win, you'll stick around longer.
There you go. Absolutely. But where everybody can stick around right now is at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/the official ITG to catch us live, as well as YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, coming up on today's show, I'm already shaking my head. Dude, I'm already shaking my head. Because here it goes. You ready for this? Square Enix is looking to acquire and establish more studios after selling 3 studios.
A bit of a mulligan, perhaps.
Oh man, anyone else confused? Because actually, you know what? I heard the minute I saw this, I'm like, I know exactly what they're doing. We'll get into that because that's our number 1 story of the day. Fall Guys is finally coming to Xbox. Oh, praise the skies are falling, man, because Fall Guys are finally here. And Ubisoft hasn't handled Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake very well at all. Scott, are you ready for today's show?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm happy about some of these stuff.
Well, let's get into it, because following sale of Western devs, Square Enix wants to acquire and establish new studios. This comes from Marie D'Alessandri over at GamesIndustry.biz. During an earnings call for the fiscal year of 2022, Square Enix detailed the business strategy behind the sale of Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal to the Embracer Group. Among its objectives, Square Enix said that the sale of the studios will help it optimize resource allocation so it can develop titles and better appeal to customer needs while simultaneously bolstering profitability, which could be seen as a hint to Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers missing the sales targets in the past couple of years. Dude, the biggest thing for me, Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought actually did really well. Marvel's Avengers came out swinging and then just fell on its face. That's the problem, right?
Well, I think is there a loot box issue in Guardians of the Galaxy? Because I think that might be the overarching issue. At least it is with Marvel Avengers.
No, Guardians of the Galaxy is dude, it's a true straight narrow point A to point B single player campaign. Go have fun, finish the game, and then bounce, right? Avengers, and we've talked this one to death over and over again. It's just I scratch my head every time I talk about this game, because
how many times do you have to beat it to max out a character, and then you're beating it for many characters? There is a severe issue on the drawing board, I think, with
absolutely.
That one.
It is unfortunate the way that has kind of fallen apart, because, dude, they have one of the biggest IPs around, and they really should have taken off and just bolstered and gone in places we've never really seen before when it comes to live service, and it just didn't work out. They should have had maybe 2 more teams on top of this one to kind of keep the longevity of it going, right? And they didn't. They invested with one studio who's really known for single player content, and that's it. And granted, dude, the Marvel's Avengers story side of it was incredible. It was fantastic, but it was what comes next, and that's where we struggled, and that's where they are struggling now.
I haven't played either of these 2 Marvel's games, and I'm way behind.
Okay, so I recommend you go play Guardians of the Galaxy and skip Avengers.
We've got a little bit of time coming up. I think I can fit it in.
There you go. The Japanese company aims to transform its portfolio by accelerating investments into focus fields such as blockchain, AI, and cloud-based services. It also mentioned the objective of, quote, better aligning overseas publishing function with the organization in Tokyo, end quote, adding that it wants to maximize worldwide revenue from future titles launched by group studios in Japan and abroad by revisiting its existing governance structure and reporting lines and advancing integrated group management. What the? That's just a lot of mumbo jumbo.
Just a general restructuring happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. Square Enix added that to reach these objectives, it intends to strengthen its IP ecosystem, most notably by establishing new studios and doing M&As, but by creating new IPs as well. It also wants to bolster its publishing structure by appointing a chief publishing officer, among others. Later in the call, Square Enix detailed its blockchain initiatives and the success of its first season of NFTs linked to the comic She Shan She See Million Arthur. Dude, I've never even heard of that. Have you seen that thing at all?
No.
Well, it ended in March 2022. Quote, encouraged by the results of the feedback from our NFT business, we have decided to produce a second season, end quote. Square Enix said. Quote, our plan is to incorporate game content into our service and to leverage the development and operational expertise we have amassed in our existing business to explore the potential of earning structures, but breadth of play and NFT ownership experiences in the NFT business. Dude, here's we go right back to the title, right?
I don't get it. If these video game companies want to make NFTs, why don't you just start a sticker company?
Well, okay, so when it said, so I was talking to my wife this morning about this, and I said, so Square Enix is looking to buy new studios. She goes, didn't they just sell? I said, yep. But the reason why they're wanting to buy new studios is because they want to get in the NFT market and get studios that are going to focus on those kind of games, right? And
an entire studio, it's definitely going to insert it into video games. Then this isn't just a side spin.
No. This is one direction that's going to bolster into the rest of, I think, Square Enix's IPs, right? Northern Nerdcast joins us, says, I think they are doing this to line up more Japanese companies and then to be scooped up by Sony. Brad, I think you are wrong, dude. I think it's all NFT focused from here on out right now for Square Enix, and I think that's their direction. And they're seeing right now a huge influx of the NFT market, and they want a piece of that pie. So they've sold off studios that they can then focus on buying. Here's the thing. When I look at NFT projects for the gaming space, right? You know what I see? Dude, I see mobile titles. That's where a lot of it right now is focused on. And
I see Beanie Babies.
Well, dude, there's as an artist, I get it. When it comes to games, I don't see the mix yet, right? And that's the biggest thing, to see how they can correlate together properly without being overbearing. So
I still wonder, does it give us anything as a gamer? Does it increase or improve the space as a consumer? And I just have yet to see it.
No, absolutely.
It seems like another option next to Battle Pass and loot boxes for how to throw away my money.
That's I think that's exactly it, Scott, to be honest. I think this is the next step where we saw loot boxes, right? And then that was a disaster. And nobody likes that because you don't know what you're getting. So then they came up with the battle pass. Okay, here's 100 steps you can get to, and as you grind away, you see what you're getting. Some of this is awful, some of it is cool, and now
the NFTs are going to be rewards to entice you to get loot boxes, battle pass, whatever. Maybe at the end, at 100, I can get a special sticker.
Well, maybe. Yeah, you can put
as much as I make fun of this, I do hunt achievements.
So imagine then, Scott, let's dive into your achievement. What is your current achievement score on Xbox? What do you got?
Oh, well, actually, I have that number right here.
Let's take a look.
228,330.
Now, let's say some of that is tied to an NFT project of some sort, right? And that will allow you then to go in and buy cosmetics. Right now, we grind for currency, in-game currency, right? What if we can flip that in-game currency and get those achievements to pop? And as they pop, they actually pop an NFT of some sort, right?
So why would my NFTs from 10 years ago matter to any games, any cosmetic shop today?
It probably won't, dude. I'm just saying.
It sounds like Sounds like I'm trying to use V-Bucks on something in 100 years. It's not going to matter.
No, it's definitely a thing of right now, right? I think that's why as you play a game, you grind out a game, you're looking for your achievements, you're looking for that in-game currency to upgrade and level up. Dude, I see a lot of companies now switching over to, if you want to level up, here's your NFT, and this is how you do that. You swap in your NFT card, you get this. Dude, a lot of it getting tied into card games. One of our favorite games, honestly, on mobile right now.
Games had cards forever, actually.
Skyweaver, right? Dude, Skyweaver is a fantastic.
Oh, I'm thinking of you get achievements on Steam and it'll give you certain cards, certain display pictures, that kind of thing. It's almost an NFT idea on its own.
Yeah,
but that's been around for a decade, and I don't know if anybody really cares. I might be the only one who remembers.
But dude, I had no idea. So now is where does Square Enix take this, right? Are we concerned? What's their future look like? Because that's what I said, their business model right now is all focused on NFTs. And dude, your next Final Fantasy attached to an NFT could uprise a lot of gamers, and I'm curious where that's gonna follow us. But speaking of falling, Scott, it's Fall Guys! Woo! It's coming free to play, launching on the Xbox and Switch next month.
I am very excited about this. Actually, it began as a joke. Haha, you guys get to play Fall Guys. Oh, yeah. I really wish I was playing. Now it looks like I'll be able to play.
Yeah, well, that's just it, right? It's been on PlayStation now forever, and it launched there. It's been, honestly, it feels like it's been 2 years of Fall Guys on PlayStation, but I think it's only really been about a year.
It can't be that long.
I don't think so. It feels. I don't think so. Let's okay now. I gotta look. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
This happens a lot, actually, behind the scenes, guys. We go, when did that come out?
So
my excuse is I was 10 years old.
Yeah, it's August 4th, 2020.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dude, it's been a while, right? Like, I can't believe it's taken that long now to move over to the world of Xbox. But this comes from Wesley LeBlanc over at Game Informer. Fall Guys, the popular obstacle course-based multiplayer game, is going free to play on June 21st. Mediatonic, the developer behind Fall Guys, announced this yesterday in a special live stream for the game. June 21st will also see the launch of Season 1 and Fall Guys' long-awaited arrival to Xbox platforms, Switch, and Epic Games Store. In fact, to prepare for this shift to free-to-play, Mediatonic says PS4 players will need to download a new version of the game that's available now. Yeah, no kidding. All of your cosmetics, existing cosmetics and crowns will transfer over, so don't be worried about that. That's cool to see. Man, I just can't believe it's taken this long at all for Fall Guys, but they must have had one heck of a contract signed in there with PlayStation, dude.
Yeah, it must really be the contract that would have extended this time in between, because you want to believe that it swept the world by force. You'd think they would want to get on just about every device ever. And just maximize those profits. But it's interesting because they're not going to maximize per sale profits when it's going free to play. So it's a bit of a retiring that in favor of the in-game market. I assume there must be an in-game market.
Absolutely.
A lot of costumes for these little beans.
Well, they've had now like 2 years to accumulate this in-game store, right? So all of a sudden now you launch on Switch, you launch on Epic Games Store, and you launch on the Xbox, and you welcome millions upon millions of players. I wonder how much cash they're about to make on June 21st.
Am I going to have Xbox specific kind of cosmetics? Can I be the chief next to your Kratos?
Right? That's, I think, what everybody now is asking for when you get on the, how do you not tie in to, dude, what if you get on the Switch and you have a Mario little beanie, right? Like, man, you get a Mario skin over there, that makes a ton of sense, and it would just sell like gangbusters. Nintendo takes a piece of that sale, right? Mediatonic gets the other half of it, and away you go. Man, opportunities again about to skyrocket. I think you're gonna see, it's funny because we've seen Fall Guys kind of taper away and fall back and kind of go behind the scenes and hide it for a little while, but now that it's going to be back up front as everybody is, it launches free to play. Dude, it's going to be all over Twitch again, because now you have Xbox players going to be playing it. You have those who are on an Epic Games Store. And
sounds like a Boeing is landing across the road. I don't know what that is.
I was going to say Scott's got a jet landed on his house.
Yeah, you just got to close my eyes.
Need somebody help?
What else am I going to
do? Not much, man. You kind of snuck. You're on your own. But you know who needs help? It's Ubisoft, because Ubisoft reportedly mishandled Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. No way. Really? Nick Tan over at PlayStationLifestyle.net has this report. Anonymous sources from Ubisoft Pune and Mumbai studios in India, the former developers for the Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake, say that the publisher mishandled the game's production in multiple ways. If true, this would cast Ubisoft's earlier statement that the game's development would be transferred to Ubisoft Montreal in a different light. According to the sources complied by 0451 Games. Never. Who's that? A newsletter on Substack that primarily follows the console and PC gaming market in India. Ubisoft mismanaged the remake from the very beginning, remaining anonymous for fear of retribution. No kidding. They blame the inexperienced and overambitious leadership of Jean-Philippe. Really? The boss over at Ubisoft India studio at the time. They claim.
How do you say that last name, Drew? I don't have the cultural background.
You set me up for this. Pushat. I'm gonna go with that. What do you think? I got it. I gotta be close.
I'm thinking Pusho.
Pushu. Oh, I'm so close. I will go with that.
Baby,
yeah. Just because I'm French doesn't mean I speak it. Come
on. I only know the Anglo lexicon.
They claim that their teams were only given a bare bones design document about 10 pages long, forcing them to reverse engineer the original game's levels from the ground up. Moreover, the studios were tasked with using Ubisoft Anvil engine from the Assassin's Creed Origins. Wow, that's an old engine at this time, right? Attempting to take the original animation of the prince and somehow fit them over the stockier, heavier set frame of Bayek, the protagonist from Origins.
Yeah, wow. That sounds like it would be a mess right off the start. Yeah.
Doesn't it? Yeah. How do you work with that? If it's a remake, honestly, it should have been a remake from the ground up, Scott.
Well, it sounds silly to me. Why would you reskin? Like, it sounds like taking Halo and reskinning it into a whole different kind of game. The combat in Assassin's Creed is entirely different than something really light and fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Absolutely. The sources also say that they had no oversight from Ubisoft until the official reveal trailer released in September 2020 that currently has a ratio of 5 to 1,000 likes to 8,000 dislikes. At the time, fans were disheartened by the poor graphics for a supposed remake of a beloved game in the publisher's history. The vocal backlash not only resulted in Pusho being moved to Ubisoft Kyiv and Odessa, but both Ubisoft Pune and Mumbai have reportedly been regulated back to quality assurance testing, with much of the senior talent leaving the studios. Dude, this is not good for Ubisoft.
No, it sounds like a lot of dropped ball here. Like
a ton.
Them being set up with just a 10-page kind of document doesn't seem like how to set up a company for success.
Not at all.
And it doesn't matter if they were handing that to Montreal, the very creators of it originally. You'd want to have some sort of more oversight, I would assume. But yeah. It sounds like it's, unfortunately, these Indian counterpart studios just were not set up very well, and you almost can't blame them for what happened, really. The graphical, at least some of that feedback did get into somebody's ear, and they've decided to kind of salvage what you can out of this.
Absolutely. But now this is going back to Ubisoft Montreal. Dude, you gotta think they're starting from the ground up, right? Ubisoft Montreal has to take this back to bare bones and start from the ground, rework everything. You can't go off an engine that is like 3 games old now in the world of Assassin's Creed, right? Like it was Origins, Odyssey, and then Valhalla. So why would you go all the way back to Origins? Why wouldn't you work off of Valhalla? Because they're too stocky? Well, so is Bayek, right?
Yeah, I would go way back to, I'd go back to Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3, that kind of model, because that's far closer to how the Prince of Persia began. They were once almost the same.
Absolutely. The Prince turned into Assassin's Creed. That's what it was, right? It was the evolution of Prince of Persia and then stepping in the world of Assassin's Creed, and that's kind of exploded since. But then we saw Prince just disappear. Prince of Persia just vanished.
I'm so afraid they're gonna put Prince of Persia out. It'll be a great game except for levels, number of levels or something silly like that. And if I have to dance around a heavy armored unit for 10 minutes, well, that's not Prince of Persia.
No, Scott, I want to get into something sad for you. Sorry to say that. Before we get going on to what's out for today, Improbable sells Scavenger Studio Midwinter Entertainment, Behavior Interactive. This is there's two sides to it, right? We'll get to why it's sad in a second, but I think this is a good thing. Behavior Interactive takes over developers as Improbable focuses on the metaverse. This comes from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz. Cloud technology firm Improbable has sold Midwinter Entertainment, the studio behind multiplayer shooter Scavengers. Here's where the issue comes in. Eurogamer revealed the developer has been sold to Behavior Interactive for an undisclosed sum and is now working on a new project. This is great. We have a good friend over there, Behavior Interactive, with Adam Kleiman moving over from Ubisoft now, actually going over to Behavior. It's exciting times over there. The PC version of Scavengers will be maintained by a small team at Improbable, while the console version, here's the sad part, Scott, has been canceled.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
yeah,
no, poor Scott.
I was thinking, was there even going to be console? When was that supposed to be released? But I had fallen out of it.
Yeah, according to Eurogamer, Scavengers' concurrent player numbers on Steam have mostly sat in the low hundreds since entering early access in May 2021.
Whoa.
That's the problem, right? But Midwinter Entertainment has formed in December in 2016 by a group of former Halo developers, with Scavengers heavily inspired by the work on Halo 5's Warzone mode. The studio is currently working on Nightingale, a survival game in Victorian fantasy setting. While the title is multiplayer, Flynn told GamesIndustry.biz last year that it is, quote, more intimate single player or small group player experience. Scott, I think that's the cool part. I think we've seen very little of Nightingale, but I think it looks cool. Like, I don't know if I'm going to play it because it looks kind of creepy, but I think
I like the idea. I like the idea of it being small teams instead of, I was just thinking in my head, 1 versus 100, which is another game that I miss.
Yeah, well, we'll see how this goes. I think it's cool. I'm glad Behavior picked them up. I think that maybe stepping out of that metaverse a little bit, kind of, and getting back into the main focus of building the game.
Yeah,
and we'll
just
see where
like
Nightingale
NFTs,
kind of pans.
I don't see positive things for the metaverse yet. In fact, I see a combination of unholy things. What if I show up to the metaverse McDonald's to buy an NFT? Oh, no.
I'll take a fries with the side of NFTs. Scott, what is out today, buddy?
We have Outward now releasing on the PlayStation 5.
Do you remember playing that game? I want to back up one quick second.
Yeah.
It was not, man, we played on Stadia. I did not click with that game whatsoever.
No, I have two memories. One was getting off of a boat wreck, and I thought, hey, haven't I played this before? And then the other one was running around the wilderness. I have no clue what to do. It's rare a game makes me feel that beginner. We also have Fury releasing on the PS5. We have V Rising on PC via the EA Store. And we have Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion on PC. And Yumaragi Generation on the Xbox One, Series S and X.
There you go. I know Nate's looking forward to V Rising. I think that one looks pretty cool. I think you're looking forward to that one too. We're actually in the middle right now of discussion for an interview with the team, but they're getting launched into early access right now. That's the biggest push for them. So once they get in that, hopefully we'll be able to sit down, talk to the team, get more info about the game and what the future looks like for V Rising. But Scott, I think you're pretty excited, aren't you? Oh
yeah. No, I'm always looking for something new to pick up.
You like that top-down perspective as well, right? And it's going to be pretty cool it's coming to PC. Curious to see if it does make its way over to console. I think that's one of the other questions a lot of us have. So we'll be able to make sure we get in and talk to them about that and see if that's possible. That's going to come out.
I like when it's a twin stick.
You think? I don't think it is twin stick though. Do you?
I'm not really sure. It's kind of hard to run it otherwise. Like I think of Diablo and twin stick just makes sense with me.
Oh, that does make a lot of sense. I don't know. It looks cool. Actually, it kind of has my interest as well. So I definitely want to check that out. And Scott, that's going to wrap up today's show. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Hit us up over on Twitter, the official ITG, and let us know what game are you picking up today. Until tomorrow, I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.